Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 27 of my early campaign where I am playing as the Almohads. And things are going so nicely in this campaign. I'm making money, what am I making? Almost 6,000 a year, that feels pretty good. That is just about maxed out for my economy. I know I could throw a few more farm upgrades into my provinces, but I'm not in a huge hurry to do that because if I need to max out, if I need to get a little bit more from my economy a little bit later on, then that's still an avenue that I can take. Another reason why I like holding off on my farm upgrades a little bit is just because by building improved farmlands, you can give your governors and your king these traits, which are like great steward or good steward or something like that, which increases your farm production by a certain percentage. And there actually is a tactic there where what you could do is take a few provinces, for example, that aren't really lucrative when it comes to farm income. Say, a few poor provinces, maybe it would be Tunisia for me. Let's see what Tunisia's making. Tunisia's making 504, and that's with 2 upgrades. It'd be something else. I would have to find... Cyrenaica is a great example, right? Cyrenaica is worth nothing when it comes to farm income. But the strategy would be to basically just continuously burn down and then build up these upgrades over and over again in a continuous cycle so that you can get these traits for your governors and your kings over and over again. And for me, that's a little bit too gamey. Honestly, I'm not saying I won't ever come around to that one. Maybe I will. But it's a little bit too gamey. And there's a few other things you can do. You can do that for mines as well. You can build mines over and over again, and that's going to do another trait. I can't remember. It's something that you wouldn't think of. It's like a good trader king or something like that. And it's a weird one because it's nothing to do with trade. So I don't know if it's a mines or something else. There's a few, yeah, there's another line like that. But yeah, I feel like letting that be more organic. I don't really feel like forcing vices and virtues upon my my family, or should I say farming vices and virtues. That's just a little bit too gamey for me. Again, maybe later on down the line, maybe at some point in my medieval Total War career, maybe I'll be like, you know what? It's okay because people would. It's like what's that type of farming where you burn it down and grow it all back again? There's a word for that. It's like slash and burn or something. I'm blanking right now. Yeah, I'm blanking right now. But yeah, you could justify it maybe and say something like that. Maybe I will. I don't know. It's just a little bit too... It's a little bit too gamey for me. But there has been things where I was pretty stubborn with in the beginning with Shogun, and then I kind of would come down from it. So it's not, maybe I'll change my mind on that. With the Almohads, with the position that I'm in right now, I really don't feel like it's necessary. I feel like I'm doing pretty well, and I'm only at war with the French, and they don't even own any ports right now, so I'm making, I'm doing pretty gosh darn well as far as that's concerned. And my points are doing well as well. My Glorious Achievements points are up to 137. The next highest is the Sicilians at 99. And then if we were to look through this, so ignore the Alhambra. That's already been counted, and I'm pretty sure that only gets counted once. Points are counted only once, correct. So homelands and conquests are going to be counted again in the year 1300. So, 24 turns from now. And I'm going to be making 10, 12, 14 points. So let's see how 14 points stacks up with my competition. Byzantines, not too worried about it. They're going to be making 3 points. They're in a lot of trouble. The Danes, it's really too bad because they sort of had a civil war, and then the Sicilians bought their territories. And so the Danes they don't have their homelands anymore, which is too bad because they could be making quite a bit of points off of their homelands. Yeah, 8 points that they're missing out on. And then at conquest, they make 1 point per every province they conquer. So they're doing okay with that. So yeah, they're in kind of it's unfortunate for them. The Egyptians, they could be on the comeback. They're handling their shit really well on their side of the world. They're handling the Mongolians very well, the Byzantines very well, the Turks very well. So yeah, they might be doing okay, and they might be getting better as well. What province do they not have? Cyrenacia. Ooh, they're going for my province. That's what it is. That's what it is. They want that extra 2 points. Okay. So there's going to be a war between myself and the Egyptians. So I'm going to have to get ready for that. They did just have a Sicilian crusade launched their way. So they're going to have to deal with that. But I think they're going to be able to handle that without a problem. The English, don't have to worry about them. They're only going to make 2 points. The French, yep, they're going to be gone pretty soon. Now the Germans, they're at 95. So they're tied in 3rd place behind the Sicilians. Don't have to worry about them. The Hanseatic League, is this going to get counted again? So yeah, it's going to get counted again in the year 1300. Okay, wow. So they have 8, 9 plus 6. So they're making 15 points. Yeah, they're making more than me. So there's a potential for a German catch-up. You know, they might be catching up on me, but, you know, I'm making 14, so it's not going to happen fast. The Italians, they're on their way out. The Turks, I don't know how they still exist. The Hungarians, they're another kind of dark horse wildcard sort of scenario here. They're going to be making 10, 12, 13, so just 1 point less than me. So I suppose I don't have to worry about them too much right now, but I have to keep my eye on them. And the Sicilians, yeah, they're kind of, they're interesting in 10, 12. So they're making less than me, but just 2 points less than me, you know, so. And that's just based on how things are now. That's still with 24 turns left before things are counted. So things could definitely change based on, you know, people taking more provinces or losing provinces or what have you. So there's a lot that could change from here and now. So with that being said, yeah, the Egyptians, they've pushed back the Mongols. The Mongols even had to deal with their own civil war here. So the Egyptians have this nice little buffer of Khazar between themselves and the Mongols. And the Mongols are starting to peter out. They took their territories, and then the Poles are kind of pushing them back. Man, those stalwart Poles, kind of root for them, you know? Just a little bit at least. And it's crazy that the Hungarians, with their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 provinces, is like a dark horse candidate. Like, they're just hanging out here, just making a ton of points, and they're just living their best lives, you know? So good for them. Good for them. But yeah, back to the Egyptians. Since everything over here is just handled so well, the Byzantines are not a threat as long as these armies don't do anything. The Turks are not a threat. So the Egyptians are definitely getting ready to take on Cyrenaica. Now, I've had these armies sitting here in Cyrenaica for quite a while, and I feel like they're pretty good. In fact, you know what? How about I just not assume that? Because the Egyptians are going to be coming for that booty. Oh, look at that. They got a mortar. Oh, that's cute. Hey, I think I have mortars here too, right? I believe I do. Yes, I do. Oh, man. If they attack me, which they will, I'm going to bring my mortars in my first wave, and we're just going to have this janky-ass mortar duel. I promise. That's my concept promise right there. So yeah, if for another reason to tune in, watch for the mortar duel. That's going to be really fun. And by really fun, I mean like the mortars are not going to do anything. But whatever. We'll see what happens. What else do they have? Pavese crossbows, Saracens. These are good spearmen. These are... I think they're better than any spearmen that I have. That's not the contest, though. You know, you have to... You can't really get into the habit of, like, comparing spearmen. That's not really the point, because the spearmen are there to fight Cav and not hold back other spearmen. You can always assume that spearman on spearman is going to be a wet noodle contest. So it's more of an issue of how are these guys going to fight? Well, I would say their armor's a little bit too heavy to fight in the desert. And my spearmen are made for it. Even my Moahid foot soldiers with a armor upgrade, I believe, gosh, you know what? Now I'm starting to wonder. I think even with the armor upgrade, they still only have an armor rating of 2. Okay, so I've just looked it up. They have an armor rating of 1, but they have a large shield, and a large shield is going to give a +2 armor and then +2 defense. And I don't know if that is counted towards the whole fighting in the desert penalty thing. And this is going to lead into I guess this is as good as time as any to talk about the shield. modifier in this game, because I don't know exactly everything about this, but I know something about it. Basically what I just said, right? Large shields is going to give a +2 armor and +2 defense. And then small shields and cavalry shields are going to give +1 armor and +1 defense. So you might be thinking, as I have, what's the point of even calling it a shield modifier if you just could put in +2 defense and +2 armor in that unit's actual stats? Because in newer Total War games, my understanding is, and I haven't played any newer Total War games, but my understanding is that there's a shield block chance where a strike or a ranged attack, like an arrow or a bullet, needs to first pass through the shield, whether it's a 30% block chance or a 40% block chance. That ranged attack or that hand-to-hand attack has to pass through that missile block chance first before it can actually impact on the armor rating itself of the unit. And in this game, I don't think that's how this works. I don't think there's a block chance because it's not being registered whether you're shooting the rear of a unit or the front of the unit or a side of the unit. I don't think that was modeled into the physics of the combat until Rome Total War, I believe, where if you shoot into the rear of a unit, you're not going to be hitting the shield, so it's going to be, more of a chance of killing units. I don't think it was here. I think that the shield modifier in this game is just a +2 defense and a +2 armor for the large shields, that is. So why wouldn't that just be in the unit stats themselves? Well, my guess is this, and this is just a guess, but here's what I'm thinking, is that for armor-piercing units, the way that their bonus versus armored units is calculated is that, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding with armor-piercing units is that you take the armor of the unit that armor-piercing unit is attacking, you half the armor, and you add that to the attack of that armor-piercing unit. So say, for example, my Ghazi infantry, these are armor-piercing units, and say they're attacking a unit like the militia sergeants. They have a 3 base armor with an armor upgrade. They're going to have a 4 armor. So my Ghazi infantry, if they were attacking a militia sergeant with an armor upgrade, they'd be getting an additional attack bonus of 2. Is my understanding of that. So the higher the armor of certain units, the higher the attack bonus that armor-piercing units have versus these units. So my guess is that shields are not counted towards that, and I don't necessarily know why. I just don't know why else the shield modifiers are displayed the way that they are. Why would they not just be a part of the innate stats of the unit, like they are in Shogun? For the Korean skirmishers, the Korean skirmisher doesn't actually have a shield. It's just modeled onto the unit on the battlefield, but then it just has high armor to show that, they have a shield. So that's my guess. My guess is that the shields do not count for the armor-piercing bonus of armor-piercing units. And in addition to that, my question is, do they count for the fatigue that units get in the desert? Is that another thing that separates the shield bonus from the innate armor bonus itself? If you know the answer to this, please let me know, because I'm really spitballing here on a couple ideas. I haven't found the answers to these questions, but I also haven't really looked that hard. I mean, I'm sure I've come across this at some point or another, but there really is a lot of information when it comes to learning this game. And my apologies if it's taken me a little bit longer than you'd expect to pick up on all of it. I'm trying here. I just got to put my hours in. I'll get there. I really will. I'll get there. They could have made it a lot easier to just put the information right into the game, right? So yeah, if you know exactly what separates, the difference between a shield modifier and an armor rating for a unit, let me know the answer to that. That'd be really cool. And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. let's keep looking at the Egyptian units. Is there anything here? Mamluk cavalry. These guys are good, and I think that these are a unique unit to the Egyptians. Bonus versus armored troops. So they are an axe-armed, I would say medium cavalry unit. And yeah, I don't think they quite have the heavy armory of like a heavy shot cav, but I do think, yeah, strong charge, good defense, bonus versus armored troops. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're kind of on the heavy cav level. Maybe they're good enough. But my guess is the armor is going to be low enough for them to fight in the desert without any issues. This is a good unit. Mamluk cavalry is a good unit. What else do they got? Camels, of course. Camels are going to do very, very well against any cavalry that I possess. And then Mamluk horse archers. This is a good horse archer unit. I don't know how their stats exactly stack up with other horse archers, but I believe that the Mamluk horse archers are pretty freaking good. Pavis Arbalesters. Yeah, that's also a good unit. They have a 3 bonus for their armor with their little silver shields. That's good. It's good, but like, you know, again, fighting in the desert, that's going to be tough on them. Same with the Saracen infantry with their 3 upgraded armor, armor, and the Nubian spearmen as well. Yeah, I don't think that these are exactly the units they want to bring, because when units get exhausted, that really decreases their morale by a lot. An exhausted unit, I think, is getting -6 morale, but again, that's just off the top of my head here. Yeah, so, I mean, can I beat them? I have a few Muahids, I have a few Ghazi infantry, I have my Berber camels, so their Bedouin camel warriors would beat my Berber camels in a melee fight, because my guys are camel archers and their guys are melee camels. But my camel archers can still hold their own in a melee fight versus light cav. Like, they can actually beat Saharan cavalry in a fight, which is really cool, because light cav are designed to chase down skirmish cavalry or camelry in this instance. And Berber camels just happen to be able to fight off many light cav units in this game. So they would probably be able to beat a Saharan cav, and they might hold their own up against a Mamluk horse archer. I'd be curious to actually see who wins this fight. That'd be an interesting one, but in any case, my Berber camels can be a useful tool for me. What else do I got? I have regular Arbalesters. I don't know if I brought any Pavis Arbalesters. Did I or did I not? I don't know if I'm there yet, actually. I think I just have regular Arbalesters. Yeah, okay. Well, I have a few of them, though, so that's good. And I do have my handgunners. Oh, yeah, my secret weapon. They're done for. The Egyptians ain't got nothing on my handgunners. They're gonna get wrecked. Oh, dear. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Whenever they decide to go after me, I don't think they quite have the numbers yet, just because I went so overboard with this. But yeah, whenever they want to go, like, come at me, bro. I'll be waiting for you, because in the meantime, this campaign is going to be pretty relaxing for me until that happens. Just because I'm not really at war with anyone significant. Yeah, I'm looking at you, France, like, you suck. But as far as everyone else goes, like, I'm really glad the Sicilians are not sending crusades my way. If I was at war with, I don't know, would they get around to doing that at some point? I don't know. I feel like the Pope hasn't really been mad at me. Or maybe he has, and I just kind of forgot. Is this Pope mad at me? It doesn't say, does it? Like, it doesn't say anywhere, like, if he's asked for a crusade to be launched against you, you just have to remember that forever. Oh, dear. So, yeah, there's let's see. Anything else really going on? Not a whole lot. I don't really want to mess with the Sicilians until I have a robust navy in the works, so yeah, I think I'm working on my navy right now. I need to get my second tier, my cannon foundries. I need to get these built up first before I can build my third tier boat building, and then I'll be able to start building my third tier boats, which I think that's my final tier for the Muslims. I was just looking at that, and yeah, I was a little bit surprised to see that, yeah, we only get 3 tiers, I believe. So, like, 1 tier of cannon boats, and that's it. So that's going to be all I have to fight against the Sicilian Navy. And I am building, let's see, what else am I building? I saw a cannon somewhere. Here we are, the demi cannons. Yes, these are going to be fun. I remember being pretty impressed by these. Even though you can get better cannons after this. Like, I remember thinking these were pretty bomb, so. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a few of those on the field. You know, since Egypt does not have any border forts inside of it, and we are definitely going to be at war with each other, there is a 5-star general just kind of hanging out here. It's a one-man unit of Gulam bodyguards, just him. He's, you know, he's a good fighter, but there's no one else in his unit. He's a 5-star general. He is the governor of Constantinople. 5-star general is not bad. Natural leader is also pretty good. +2 morale. And anything else? Yep, +10 happiness, +2 loyalty. He's good. And you know what? I've had this 4-star assassin just kind of killing everyone that walks into Aragon for a while. So let's bring this 1-star assassin over from Cyrenaica. Maybe I can get him some training up here in Aragon. And I'll send this 4-star down to Cyrenaica. And I will bring him over into Egypt to see if he can get a lucky hit on this 5-star general / governor next turn. How about that? I don't know why this is the case, but the Sicilian king only has 3 influence, and that is a little bit surprising to me because I thought that they were doing okay, actually. They've been very prudent with their moves. They've kept the papacy down but not out, which is exactly where you want to keep them. And they've been making some smart choices. Did they... I feel like they must have lost Northumbria. Did they have a civil war? I wonder. Because I feel like they used to have Sweden and Northumbria, and then they lost them. Or I just wasn't keeping track of that. Because they have Denmark and Wessex and Flanders. And then this pocket of provinces here. And then down here, they have a few more provinces down here as well. But then they have a 3-influence king, and with the Crusade, which is undoubtedly gonna fail. Yeah, this is gonna fail. But it's gonna take a while. I mean, it's gonna be sitting here for a while on the border of Bulgaria. But when it does fail, that king is gonna take an extra hit to his influence. And I don't think... I mean, having less than 3 is gonna be bad, so... Yeah, the Sicilians, I thought they were doing well. And, I mean, they still kind of are, but... That's not great. And having the poor Italians, they get their faction reemergence and then they end up on an island without any boats. That's just like the saddest fate ever. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Is this an Italian boat? How did they get this? What? Huh, interesting. So there actually is an Italian boat. Well, I kind of hope they can use it. I think it's the only one they have. I don't even know if they can afford any others. I mean, there's nothing... If they wanted to attack the papacy, I mean, there's no papacy boats in this sea region, so that might be an option, but going after the Sicilians, it might not be the answer. They might want to really bide their time on that one. This is what I'm talking about. Shipbuilders Guild, baby. Yes, this is the building that's going to allow me to build my booms. I love it. That's going to be the name of my 3rd tier boat. Booms. That's the best name for a boat with cannons on them. Bigger vessels demand better shipyards to build and maintain them. This shipyard allows all but the largest and most powerful vessels to be constructed. And although maintenance means no more than beaching a ship so that the hull can be scrapped, the skilled men from a shipyard are needed. Yeah, let's go. Portugal. You are going to be my foremost province when it comes to building the newest in Islamic boat technology. So my 4-star assassin is going to have a 24% chance of killing that 5-star general. You know what? That's not bad chances, I'd say. And it's interesting, so yeah, it has a devastating effect on the morale of the army in the battle for 1 year. Okay, I'm glad that it tells me that, because I always wondered in Shogun, for example, I always kind of read the same thing, but I wasn't sure if that simply just meant that, well, the army's not going to have the command bonus from that general, like, duh, or if there's an actual morale debuff for the army in that turn that's separate from just losing the command. You know, is there an actual debuff of losing the general in that turn? And this seems to suggest that there actually is, you know, a separate effect, which is a morale debuff on the army, not just the fact that they're going to lose the traits of the general himself. That's really neat. That's a neat thing that I literally just realized. However, I just raised another question. Is it take place in the year that it happens or the next year? I don't know. You know, that's the part that I don't know. So how does the timing work? If I were to do this right now, and then I press enter, and then my guy kills him, and then do I invade? And there's going to be a big morale debuff on that army? Or do I have to do it now, invade, you know, just attack right now, and then, you know, hopefully they don't reinforce and bring in another really good general or something. How does that work out? Yeah, if you know the answers, I'd be really curious to know, because that's a big deal. You know, that's a reason to basically preempt every single attack with an assassination attempt, right? So, yeah, I'd be really curious to know how that works. And the French king just about stands alone. His other province here in Toulouse, they are under siege, and they're going to be falling in 3 turns to the Danes. And there's been an interesting little switcheroo between the Danes and the French, where the Danes, you know, kind of have the French territories. They still do have Saxony, and they still do own Norway. Things are getting really interesting here, because France was kind of the public enemy number 1 for all of, you know, Western Europe for pretty much this entire campaign. I mean, everyone has set aside their differences to attack France. Germany's only enemy is France. Italy's only enemy for, you know, I think a lot of the time, I think, was France as well. England never really picked up the sword again after they got a ceasefire. And then there's Sicily is kind of butting their heads in wherever they can. So I'm really curious what's going to happen here. What's the shakedown going to be once France is officially eliminated? You know, right now it seems like the Danes are the real movers and shakers, along with the Sicilians. And I'm really curious to see what is going to happen. Are the Germans going to start being a little bit proactive? I'm not seeing any really crazy big armies from them, honestly. They have some armies over here, but they're kind of trash looking. Yeah, I guess the Germans are not looking that strong, which is good news for me, because they're tied with 3rd place along with the Poles in the points. So removing them, or having them be removed by other factions, I guess wouldn't be the worst thing for me. I'm just really curious. I feel like the Hungarians could and should make a move someday. Just someday. Do something. Show me something cool. Take out, come on. Greece is really rich. Greece is a rich province. It's just sitting here waiting to be taken. Ugh, come on. The Turks are just... I mean, I guess there's a lot of Gulam cavalry or Gulam bodyguards. So that's a little bit tricky to deal with. I get it. Hungary. It's a tricky beast to tackle. Ah, shucks. My assassin did not complete his mission. Oh well. He did a good job for me for quite a while. He was killing a lot of bishops and emissaries up in Aragon for a very long time, and I just feel like he had maxed out his career development up there. He needed a change of locations to see if he could, you know, move up to the major leagues, I guess you could say, but it didn't work out too well for him. So the Sicilians have managed to achieve an unheard of level of development. Their technological achievements are unsurpassed. Well, good for them. I mean, how are they more advanced than me? I mean, come on. My shit's pretty advanced. Look at me. I got barbicans. I think that's a castle defense. That's pretty dope. Let's get my next one. What's my next castle defense? Oh, is that it? That's my... So I have a citadel with 2 defensive upgrades in Navarre. Pfft, come at me, bro. Technological advancements. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. All right, let's go down here. I saw an emissary from Egypt trying to spy on me? I don't think so. Looks like look at me. I got some backup spies. Just ready to go. Let's go down here and cap that emissary. Make sure you can't give the Egyptians any information on me. I mean, since Egypt does not have any border watchtowers or border forts, they can't spy on me unless they have agents. So maybe that's what's preventing them from attacking me. Prince Idris has now come of age, so that's going to be my 4th heir. Let's check him out, see how he's doing. Prince Idris. Secret pride. He cannot admit to being wrong, so he has -1 command and +3 valor. So not someone who is going to be a really good battlefield commander, but you know what? He's gonna fight good. He's gonna be good in a scrap, I suppose. Let's see. No principles. Utterly fearless. Ooh, +2 morale for this guy. And yeah, greed. Yeah, there's a couple greedy guys. Not a big deal. All right, let's check out Prince Idris. Okay, yeah, you're bad. Yeah, he's bad. 2 loyalty, 2 piety, 1 dread. And then, yeah, at least he's a good fighter. So that's about all he's going to amount to. That's okay, though. I don't need him to be... He's not going to be my next in line. Prince Ali is going to be my next in line. And he is hanging out here in Navarre, just kind of losing dread slowly because he's just too goddamn charming. But you know what? Those of us who know that life, we just can't help it, right? We can't help ourselves. All right, so let's obviously Idris needs to stay next to Dad or brother. Dad, yeah, Dad. Their father's son. But do I want to send anyone else down to Cyrenacia to help out? Probably not. Let's just keep all my Gulam bodyguards up here. And I'll just have a couple guys down here to lead these armies. Just because Gulam bodyguards' armor is too heavy for the desert. So I don't really want to rely on those guys. In fact, I think that's why... Can you retrain Gulam bodyguards the way that you can retrain knights to get like chivalric bodyguards? Is that possible? I guess I could just look at it right now. Because what do I have? Gulam bodyguards? Yeah, I should be able to do that, right? Or can I retrain them here? Gulam bodyguards? Yeah, I was doing that, wasn't I? Yeah. Yeah, I retrained my Gulam bodyguards to make sure that they all go to this 2nd tier. And I'm assuming that gives them better armor at least, if not better stats as well. Yep, I just looked it up. So these guys are going to be getting better armor and better defense than the early period Gulam bodyguards. So retraining these guys is definitely worthwhile. And it's totally free, so it's going to be important for me to keep track of that. Banking houses. Usury or lending money for profit is often considered a sin, but the rise of moneyed families who are prepared to lend to merchants, look after those same merchants' surplus cash, and even transfer money between branches of the family in different provinces is a vital advance for trade. Okay? That doesn't say... It's interesting. So that didn't mention anything regarding any effects on the campaign. I wonder if that was just simply a message regarding... you know, a little historical, would you know, kind of thing, or if that, does that actually make trade increase? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. 1279. I wonder if the trade increases. I'll have to take a look at that. Let's see, anything happen? Prince Ismail, most charitable, so +20 happiness and +1 piety. Awesome. Love to see it. And has trade increased? I wouldn't say so. Making 5,810 florins, that seems to be in the ballpark of what I was making last turn. Here it is. The Shipbuilders Guild has been completed here in Portugal, and that's going to allow us to finally build the boom. And the famine is finished here in Tunisia, or the famine just happened here in Tunisia. So unfortunately, my people are suffering, and I will have my income halved here. Prince Yusuf, fast talker, +2 acumen. Court jesters come to this man for lessons on how to turn a pithy phrase. His mind is as sharp as his conversation. Must be nice. Must be nice. Let's check it out. Let's look at these booms. Hey, look at that. It has 3 sails. Nice. The boom is a Tao-like warship. It carries a small cannon as armament to bombard targets and has sufficient crew to allow boarding attacks as well. It is strong enough to meet galleys on better than equal terms and handy enough under sail to attack from most quarters. Awesome. So 4 attack, 3 defense, 2 speed, 0 strength. I feel like I don't even know what has strength that's not 0. I feel like I don't know. I need to look at all of the boats, I guess, because I feel like every boat I've looked at has 0 strength. But yes, let's definitely get these guys going. Support cost of 20. So how's that compared to? So same as Dow's, but then yeah, more than Bagla's. I wonder why Bagla's support cost is so low. But totally worth it, I'd say. I mean, what is it? It's going to be 300 florins more than a Bagla. So Dow is 600, Bagla's 8, and then a Boom is 11. And considering that the Sicilian Navy is looking pretty scary, and considering that there might be a chance for a war with the Egyptians, yeah, let's get some booms on the water. I don't think I should go too crazy with it. Just build a few of them, I suppose, for now. Just because my income is at 5 grand, it's, you know, been decreasing as I build more. Right now, I've just been training cannon crew and like mortar crews and stuff. So I haven't really been building any or training any units. So I would like to keep my income above 5 grand if I could, but getting a few more boats would be nice. I am above 100,000, which feels great. I can't even count that high, so I'm not even going to read that number off to you. So that feels wonderful. So yeah, let's get some booms in the water. Start off with a neat little 5. And yeah, we'll just start with that. I mean, there's these big fleets of the Sicilians, and I'm a little bit worried about them. But at the same time, if this crusade falls, which it's going to, the Sicilians are going to have some issues. As we were discussing earlier, the Sicilian king, can't really find him right now, but he's around here somewhere. But last I checked, he's struggling on the influence front. Where is he? Yeah, he's down here. Is there a new one? Must be a new one. Yeah, they must have gotten a new one. So he's up to influence of 5 for this king. And yeah, natural leader. Okay. Never mind. They're doing okay now. That's good news for them. And the Italians, did they already have Genoa, or did they just take Genoa? Are they at war with anyone? They're not. Did the Sicilians not have Genoa? What just happened? Did I miss something? Well, good for them. I'm glad they're on land, on mainland. Yeah, make some noise, Italy. Let's see what you got. I mean, their points were reset. Yeah. So there actually was a reemergence. That's what happens when your faction dies. When you get a reemergence, your points start over. So don't really have to worry about them, you know, threatening me when it comes to their points. But if they can make some noise in Europe, that'd be kind of cool. The mastery of time. There were 12 hours in a day from dusk to dawn. In summer, the hours were long, in winter, short. Time was measured in tomorrows, todays, and yesterdays. But no longer. The clock now strikes out the hours with heavenly regularity, making men work and trade to its fast beat, and work harder as a result. Cool. I don't think that really matters, though, regarding the campaign, though. Just like the bankers kind of thing message that came out last time. I don't think it really has any effect on the campaign. And anything happening here, perversion, so -4 piety for this guy. Looks like it's not too big of a deal. And very loyal, +2 loyalty. I gotta love it. Check out the Demiculverin Towers. This looks kind of cool. As the second defensive upgrade for my citadel here in Cyrenacia, I can get some cannons on towers. Man, that'd be neat. Yeah, Egypt, come at me. It's so tempting sometimes to actually just retreat to the stronghold and force a defensive siege. Just kind of watch my castle defenses in action. I haven't had too many battles where I actually got to see that, so that'd be kind of neat to see. But in this case, Citadel, Barbican, and Demiculverin Towers. I just looked up what a Barbican is. I guess it's just, is it like another outer wall, I guess? Kind of thing, or like a fortification that protects the gate. Kind of cool, I suppose. I need to look at more of, I need to look at that a little bit more in depth to have a better idea of exactly what a Barbican is. But yeah, let's get some of these going. Because this is the frontier down here. And yes, the Egyptians, I think I just have too much stuff here for them. I think they're just kind of looking at my stuff and they're like, nah, Cyrenacia is not worth it, which they're totally right. Oh yeah, and I'm not at war with the French anymore because I don't have any borders with them. Oh, that's wonderful. Look at that. I'm just at peace with everyone, you know. I'm just having a good old time trading, making money. Still making a decent money, you know, 5.5. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. One of the schoolmen, John Dunes Scotus, has worked hard to reconcile the philosophy of Aristotle with the teachings of the church. He has often had a great rationalizing effect, although many of his arguments are too subtle for the great mass of the faithful. Zeal is reduced in Scotland, Northumbria, Mercia, and Wales. You know what, I suppose that's something that just kind of comes around and everyone stops believing as much as time goes on. Magnificent builder here, Emir Ibn Idris, so plus in happiness and plus 2 loyalty for this governor. Okie dokie. That looks pretty good. Well, it is about freaking time, so now I can finally build the Master Boyar here in Morocco. A Master Boyar makes weapons of superlative quality. All his products are literally masterpieces of their type. This improves the weapon quality of units that are trained here. A Master Boyar allows the training of the most advanced forms of archer, providing other appropriate buildings are present in the province. So now I can finally train Pavis Arbalesters once this building is finished. And it's also going to give all my other archer units a valor bonus of +1. Now I say all other archer units. I'm assuming it's like all of them, right? I would need to look that up, but yeah, I'd assume that pretty much every archer that I'm already training would get that bonus of a +1 from the Master Boyar. If I remember correctly, the Master Shipbuilder actually doesn't really give anything to offer to the Muslim factions because they can't build any more ships. So this is one of those buildings that is pointless to the Muslim factions. It's unfortunate that it's actually here because this actually could be confusing to people that would just be like, oh yeah, let's get another, boat. And then they, build it and they can't build anything. And they're like, oh, come on, what a ripoff. So yeah, there's definitely some rough edges to the building tree in this game. There's, it's interesting. They definitely did try some interesting things, with the way that they kind of did their military tech tree. I thought was kind of cool because you have to first build a militia building before you can build a bow or a spear building, and you need a bow building so that you can build a siege building, and you need a spear building before you can build a swordsmith. It is interesting, there's some like interesting things that in there. You need a farm upgrade before you can build a horse farmer, which is just kind of cool. And the fact that they have all of these other buildings like this, like the Royal Palace and the Chancellery and the Constable's Palace and the Admiralty, all of these buildings just give titles to governors and generals and such. It's neat. There's definitely a lot of neat stuff here that it's fun to explore, but the fact that they also have these dead-end tech tree chains that are for factions where there's no point in building them, that's kind of lame. But oh well, that's just how it is. Luckily there's a lot of information on the internet that I can, kind of comb through and make sure I don't make these mistakes. Oh, and what's this? Do we have ourselves an Egyptian jihad on the map? Okay, well, that wouldn't be coming towards me because I never owned Cyrenacia. Just as a reminder, jihads only do work on provinces that were previously owned by that faction. It's kind of a defensive measure. So where would they be using it? I don't think they can use it anywhere unless they owned... Oh yeah, Khazar perhaps. They might be using it on Khazar. Because I believe they did own that at one point. Yeah, that would be my guess. I don't think they ever owned Bulgaria. Or Greece, perhaps? Maybe they did own Greece. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Well, they ain't coming at me, so that's all I really care about. Aha, yes, and the Germans are at war with the Italians now. I thought I saw a little skirmish going on between Genoa and Provence. Okay, well, things are starting to shake up here, but the French are not out of the picture yet. They've actually increased from Champagne to Ile-de-France. Now they have 2 provinces. How? Who let them do that? They have like no one. They have barely anything. There's just one Royal Knight and a ballista here in Champagne, and no one's taking it. What in the heck is going on here? Huh. Yeah, this is, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here in Western Europe. The Everlasting League. Surrounded by greedy enemies and vulnerable in the Empire's constant struggles, the Swiss cantons of Uri, Swiss, and Unterwalden have signed a compact pledging mutual aid against all enemies. Although a small start, this Swiss confederation can have sharp teeth, the pikes in the hands of its many soldiers. So, this is a new faction that becomes invented, right? Okay, so what's going on here? The Germans and the Danes are at war now. Oh, okay. So, I'm going to choose to remain allied with the Danes because they are actually my neighbors. So, do you wish to remain allied with the Germans? No. Brave beyond belief, fear is unknown to this man. On the battlefield, he has no thought of danger or death, and his example leads others to perform great deeds. +3 valor and +3 morale. Awesome. He's in my my king's stack, so I wonder who that is. So, war breaks out between Germany and the Danes. What are they fighting over, I wonder? Where did the skirmish happen? It looks like no territory changed hands, so I'm not seeing where it happened. Interesting. Things are going to be starting to happen here. And where are... Did the Swiss... So the Swiss didn't... Huh. So they didn't come about yet. Right? Like they would obviously be in Switzerland, right? When that does happen, it happens like a faction reemergence where they get a bunch of stacks kind of sprouting up here in Switzerland. It's them, and there's another faction as well. They're the Burgundians, I believe, spring up here in Burgundy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a couple like kind of late, like mid to late game sort of faction, emergencies or faction inventions that kind of spring up to really throw a spark into the proceedings. I suppose maybe what needs to happen is for the population loyalty to lower enough for it to actually spring up like an actual faction reemergence. Because if I'm correct, like if you own these territories, it's not a guaranteed thing that the Swiss actually come into being, I think. I think as long as you keep Switzerland happy, that Swiss faction doesn't come up. Same with the Burgundians. I think that's how that works. Like, I don't think it's like, you're just screwed to always have to deal with a faction reemergence. I think that you actually can stop that from happening, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, the Egyptians have been pretty quiet. They seem to have taken a peek, Oh, actually, speaking of which, they just sent another emissary. Yeah, you go and die. And yeah, I guess they don't really like what they see. I guess they're taking peeks over at Cyrenaica and they're thinking they can't beat me, which they'd be right. They'd be right about that. So it's going to be interesting to see where their next move is going to be. Will they be sending a jihad to Khazar? Will they be sending a jihad to Greece? Will they be eventually fighting the Byzantines? They could just destroy this Sicilian crusade. That'd be kind of hilarious because that would really knock down the king's influence. And he's doing fine, though. The new king for the Sicilians is doing just fine. And yes, the Italians and the Germans and the Danes and yes, the French are still here as well. There's a little bit of, mixing up here in Western and Central Europe. And there does not seem to be a real clear favorite, which I love. That's just great for me because, yeah, I'm just going to keep racking up points and money. I'm sitting on about 130,000 and I just want more and more and more. I know that seems like a lot, but you can get to the point where, if you want to start wars with people, if I wanted to invade like this region and I could go to wars with, one or two or maybe even three factions at the same time, and then all of a sudden my trade just sinks, just collapses into nothingness. I definitely want a cushion to ride out on before I can stabilize my economy. So that is going to be the plan there, but that is all going to have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. I've been Conasip, and this has been Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.